Helen Yee here at Sanford MMA, being joined by the one and only, the fan favorite coming off a fight of the year, Mr. Michael Chandler. Now, you're unofficially fighting Tony Ferguson May 7th, and I think all the fans are very excited for that.
Yeah, it is unofficial, but it is definitely rumored, and it's definitely a fight that I want, a fight that I'm excited about. Tony obviously wants it as well, so they're talking May 7th in Phoenix. I love Phoenix, Arizona. I already right now have a house rented out there for 10 days at the end of May because we love Arizona so much. So looks like I'll get a nice little vacation, go back to Nashville for a couple days, and then do another vacation. So I'm excited.
Hey, that sounds like a great plan. But what do you make of Tony Ferguson? Because I know both of you kind of share recent common opponents in Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, I think Tony Ferguson he's great. He's just a perennial fan favorite, exciting guy. He's dangerous. He's El Kukui. He's the boogeyman for a reason. You know, he was actually the first guy that we approached when we came into the UFC right away. So now that this fight is happening almost a year later, it's perfect, and I think it's the right time. It's an exciting fight. It's a great fight for both of us. Obviously, there's another lightweight title as the main event, Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. So got four of the best lightweights in the world getting after it, and hopefully we'll direct the curtain for him.
So after your fight against Justin Gaethje, was he that opponent you still wanted next, or were you kind of surprised when this was offered to you?
No, I mean, I think it's a fight that's been on my radar. I mean, I look at this not so much as chess and moving pieces around. Who do I fight to get to the title necessarily? I want to fight the toughest, most legendary guys in this division. You know, obviously Tony's been there forever. He was he's had the longest active win streak of any fighter for a while there, 12 fights in a row. He's always a fan favorite guy. He was kind of the guy at the very beginning that I visualized myself fighting when I first came into the UFC. And that didn't happen. Now it's about to happen a year later. So I think the fight makes sense. I think when I got done with the Gaethje fight, obviously I wanted to heal up, take a little bit of time off, spend some time with my family, and then kind of see where the chips fell. But with the way that the division looks, Islam's going to fight Beneil again. Obviously Charles and Gaethje are fighting for the title. Connor's coming back eventually. You got RDA right behind me in the rankings. So we'll see what happens with him next. But Tony makes a lot of sense. It's a fight the fans want to see, and it's a fight that I'm excited about. Definitely.
And now with that fight coming to fruition, how do you visualize it playing out?
Very similar to, you know, I only have one speed. You know, I keep my foot on the gas and I bite down on my mouthpiece and just getting a guy's face. The thing about Tony is he's unbreakable. He's a little bit crazy. Got to screw loose. So he is not going to be. He's not going to be a guy that I'm going to be able to break. He's not going to be a guy that I'm going to be able to wear out and tire out. But I'm going to get in his face and put hands on him very quickly. We're going to mix things up. We're going to keep him guessing and really just outclass him or out technique him. I mean, I train at the best gym in the world with the best training partners in the world and the best coaches in the world. So there's no reason why I can't put together a master class of technique and also keep the patented Michael Chandler in your face flair that I've continued to show these last couple fights, and go out there and have a good time, man. I'm living the dream. It's been a little bit over a year since I've been signed with the UFC. I was never quite sure if I was going to make that decision to come to the UFC, and since day one I've just been living the dream, and it's been a lot of fun, and this is another big fight for me.
And all the fans love you, no doubt. Now, I know that you talked about wanting another shot at the title. So if you do beat Tony Ferguson and this fight plays out the way you want it to, where do you think this takes you in the division?
It's interesting. I've been saying it for a long time. The UFC lightweight division is the most electrifying division in the UFC, and it's not just because the big name of Conor McGregor and the red panty night here and there whenever it happens, but it's the depth of the division. Guys constantly switching stature and moving around, and then a lot of parity and a lot of different things happening. But for me, I got a 10-8 round over the current champion. I got a fight of the year against the guy who's challenging him. There's not a fan on earth that wouldn't want to see me rematch either of those guys. So I think my name is definitely in that hat to fight for the title. Do I think that's what would be next after I beat Tony Ferguson? It's up to the UFC to decide. If I had it my way, of course. I visualize myself being the UFC champion by the end of 2022. If that's 2 fights from now or 3 fights from now, so be it. But we'll see what happens.
And someone else who trains here who has a big fight coming up, Gilbert Burns, he'll be fighting Khamzat Chimaev. What do you make of that matchup?
I love it, man. Gilbert, I was just thinking about that the other day. Me and Gilbert have known each other for a very, very long time. The first time we trained together was Las Vegas, like 2012 or something, you know. So to see him stay at the top of continuing to climb into the top of the division. You know, he's the number one contender or number 2 guy in the world right now. He had his first crack at the title. He was not deterred whatsoever. He's got an even bigger fire burning inside of him. There's not a lot of guys that I would tote as people who live a championship lifestyle. When I see the way Gilbert Burns carries himself, the way he shows up early to practice, he stays late, the way he also leads with a servant's heart, and he's here teaching guys, helping guys out. And then I'm kind of in my pre-camp mode right now, so I take rounds off of sparring and give my easing into training camp right now. So I've been able to take rounds off and watch him inside the cage, training with the guys that are rotating in on him. It's awesome to watch. He and I have kind of grown up together in the sport. Khamzat is a beast. It's a great test, but I think it's a very dangerous fight for Khamzat because I think Gilbert Burns is championship material. He's unbreakable, and I think he's going to go out there and win.
And lastly, circling back to your division, Dustin Poirier has been kind of targeting Nate Diaz. Do you think that fight should happen, or who do you think makes sense next for Dustin? Yeah,
shoot, I haven't even mentioned Dustin. Dustin's obviously there in the top 5. It's an interesting, once again, it's the fight game, but it's the fight business. There's something going on with Diaz's contract. I think he's on his last fight on the contract. He's kind of talking about retiring. Does anybody really think Diaz is going to retire? No. But that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to get his last fight on the contract. The UFC sounds like they're saying, no, you got to fight, you got to get a new deal done. So we'll see. That's an interesting fight. I think it's a great fight. Obviously, man, Dustin's been a top guy for years. He's earned his spot inside the division. He's talking about going up to welterweight. Shoot, I think all of us who are post, 32, 33 years old, like, I think making that same weight I've been competing in the 150s since I was 16 years old now, so I'll be 36 next month. So it is not easy to make that 155 division. So makes a lot of sense for him to go up to 170 and fight Diaz. It's a big fight. So we'll see how it plays out. Either way, the train's going to keep rolling. So those guys need to figure it out.
But you'll be staying at 155 the rest of your career?
I don't want to. If I had it my way, I would never make 155 again. But sometimes, as I've said, you got to put your calling over your comfort. I do believe I have the ability and the opportunity to keep my name in that hat for fighting for the title again. Fighting for the UFC lightweight belt is the goal, and it's something I think that is very attainable for me. So I'll make 155 for this fight, and then obviously keep my diet, keep my cardio going, be ready to make it again.
Hey, calling over the comfort for sure. And for all your fans who can't wait to watch you return against Tony Ferguson, what would you like to let them know?
I'm just excited, win, lose or draw. I'm in here in the lab getting after it, putting my best foot forward, trying to squeeze every ounce of joy and happiness and platform out of this opportunity that I have. So I'm excited to go out there and put on a show. I keep telling myself I want to go out there and, systematically and surgically pick people apart. Turns out I go out there and brawl sometimes. So we're going to work on that the next 8-9 weeks and see if we can't put together a perfect performance on May 7th.